Okay, hi everyone. We are here for the linear law paper 1, which is these questions that I gave out for the homework, the tutorial. And we're going to start with question number 8. Okay, question number 8 on page 34. Okay, so you're given this graph. Okay, given this graph of log y against x. Okay, then you're given this one. And then you have the point over here, which is negative 1 and 8. You have this point. And you have the x-intercept as 3 and 0. Okay. Then the question is, given the variables x and y are related by the equation y equals to p over q to the power of x. Okay, find the value of p and q. Okay. So as I said earlier, and quite a number of times on Monday, whenever you are faced with any situation like this, okay, the first thing to do is to build the equation first. Okay, build the equation based on the information that you know. Okay, so first of all, we know that our equation, the y-axis is log y. The x-axis is x. Okay. Anything else do we know from there? We don't. But we can actually count the gradient. The gradient equals to 8 minus 0 over negative 1 minus 3. 8 minus 0, negative 1 minus 3, which will give you negative 2. And this negative sign is a definite assurance that your graph is your number is correct lah, because graph itu menuju ke arah kiri. Okay. So let's put everything into place. If our y-axis is log y, so this would be log y equals to negative 2x plus c. We don't know what our c is yet. But we have we have 2 points that we can use to find the c. Okay, I'm going to use this negative 1 and 8. Okay, so I'm going to put 8 in here. Okay, remember, it is not log 10 8 people. This is wrong. Because log 10 y is the y-axis. So since the y-axis is 8, we will just put 8 as the y-axis. Equals to negative 2. Our x is negative 1. Okay, negative 2 times negative 1 plus c. We'll get 8 equals to 2 plus c. Therefore, c equals to 6. So if I put the c into our equation, we find that this equation is log 10y equals to negative 2x plus 6. Okay, that's the equation that we built from the Garis. Okay, but now we have to change this to become this, or we have to change this to become this. So I'm going to show you both methods, and whichever method that is better for you, you use that method for yourself. Okay, I'm going to start with this, and we're going to change this into y. Okay, so sorry, I'm going to use purple color for this purple color. So log y equals to negative 2x plus 6. Okay, now hold on now, let me just oh, okay, sorry, you know what, let me try from this side. Okay, I think this side may be a little bit easier. Okay, let me try from this side. So if I'm going to use y equals to p over q to the power of x, okay, if I want to change y to become log y, I need to log both sides. So this would be log y equals to log p over q to the power of x. Okay, we log both sides of the original equation. Okay, and then we use the logarithm rule. Okay, the hukum logarithma. Okay, because this is divide, we can split it to become minus. So log 10y equals to log 10p minus log 10q to the power of x. Okay, and then we follow the third logarithm rule, which is to bring the power in front. Okay, log 10y equals to log 10p minus x log 10q. Okay. Now, if I were to compare this, okay, to my form, okay, I'm going to have log 10y over here, okay, equals to Okay, look at my x. Originally, it's minus 2x plus 6. Okay, I'm going to follow my x over here. If my minus x is here, therefore, this side must be 2. And over here must be 6. Okay, because when we do a side-by-side comparison, this is what we will get. So when we do that, what we can conclude now is that log p must be equal to 6 and log q must be equal to 2. Okay, so when we compare, we get log p equals to 6 and log q equals to 2. Okay, yes, log q equals to 2. Okay, and then how do you find p and q from here? All you have to do is just press shift and log. Okay, so you press shift log 6, then you will get p equals to 100,000 or 10 to the power of 6 or 100,000. Okay, 10 to the power of 6. Shift log 6. Sorry, 1 million. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 million. Or 10 to the power of 6. Okay, in this case, log 10q. Okay, this will give you q equals to 100. And that's our final answer. Okay, 10 to the power of 6 and 1 million is the same number. It's just different way of writing only. Okay, but the important thing is always when you face paper 1 questions, usually soalan kertas 1 dia akan bagi the graph sedia. Okay, so it's always a good practice to form the equation first based on the graph. Once you have formed the equation based on the graph, then you adjust the original equation until you can do a side-by-side comparison. Okay, this takes a bit of practice, but once you do a side-by-side comparison, then you can find the actual value. Okay, and usually of all linear law questions, usually the ones yang melibatkan log, okay, the ones that involve log are the more difficult ones. Okay, so you require more practice for that. Okay, in case some of you are asking, how did I get this, log 10p divided by q minus q to the power x suddenly become minus? Let me remind you once again, in Form 4, Chapter 5, I think, okay, you learn the laws of logarithm. Okay, laws of logarithm. Okay, the first law is log to the power, log base a of, let's say log base p of ab equals to log base p of a plus log base p of b. Okay, this is the first one. If it is multiplied, it will split to become plus. Okay, the second law is log of p a divided by b equals to log of p a minus log of p b. Divide becomes minus, second law. Okay, and the third law is the law that has to do with the power. Okay, log of p of a, okay, log base p of a to the power of n equals to n log p a. Okay, you bring the power to the front. And there's only 3 laws. Okay, the laws go from left to right and from right to left. It doesn't matter. Okay, one other thing that I want you to be very careful of. Okay, satu lagi perkara yang kamu harus berhati-hati, and usually people will make mistake here, okay, is that log p a over b is not the same as log p a over log p b. Okay, these two are totally different. One is a cat, one is a dog. Okay, the cat is not the same as a dog. Okay, so never make this mistake. Kalau dia bentuk macam ini sahaja, then you can use this. This one, you cannot use this. Cannot. Okay? Just now I started. Okay. All right? Okay, so we're going to go into Luther's question. Now, Luther's question was question number 1. Question number 1, Luther. Question number 1. This one. Is it this question number 1 or this question number 1? Sorry. Yeah, for what? The paper, this one? Question number 1, page 40. Okay, so we're going to look at question number 1, page 40. Yeah? All right. Okay, so page 40, question number 1. Okay, and once again, you're given another graph. Okay, Remember this paper 1 question. So the axis is y over x, and the x-axis is x squared. You're given 2 points. You're not even given the intersect. Wow, so bad. Okay, 3 and m. And this one will be n and 4. Okay, so again, let's try and see what we can do. Okay, the first thing we can do is always to form the equation. Doesn't matter whether we have all the information, let's just form it first. Okay, so we have y over x as our x-axis, okay, equals to the gradient, okay, our x-axis is x squared, okay, plus c. And is there anything else that we can put in? Yes, we can. We can actually put in the gradient. We won't get a very nice line, okay, we won't get a very nice value. It's okay. Handout 2, whoever is asking me this question, handout 2, this one. Okay, all right. So it doesn't matter whether we have enough information, but we can actually try to form it first. So the gradient, gradient is, I'm going to use m minus 4 over 3 minus m. Okay, and then I'm going to put it in here. Okay, and then we'll see what happens. Y over x equals to, okay, our gradient is m minus 4 over 3 minus n. X-axis is x squared, and our intercept is c. Okay, then since you cannot do anything anymore, it's okay. Let's take a look at the original equation that the question gives. The original equation is y equals to 8x minus x cubed. Okay, now for all intents and purposes, I'm going to change this color, okay, so that you differentiate between the one that we built and the comparison with the original equation. Now, blue color, y equals to 8x minus x cubed. Y equals to 8x minus x cubed. Okay, so just like just now's question, let's change the y-axis to become like the y-axis that we want. Okay, so how do we change y to y over x? Kita bahagi semua dengan x. So we divide everything by x, and we get y over x equals to 8x divided by x just becomes 8. Okay, minus x cubed divided by x will become x squared. Okay, now let's position this and this together so that they overlap. Okay, so obviously we have to change something here a little bit. I'm going to bring my x squared to the front so that it looks like this. So this will become y over x, okay, equals to, I'm bringing this forward, so minus x squared, then this one will become plus 8. Okay, then after that, what we have is already, okay, we already have the intercept. Okay, c equals to 8, so it's not a problem. Okay, the other thing that we have over here is that we have the gradient equals to negative 1. Okay, so therefore, I can continue from here. Okay, I can continue from here and say that negative 1 equals to m minus 4 over 3 minus n. Okay, so far? All right. So when we compare this, okay, then after that, what we can do is bring the 3 minus n up. So this will become minus 3 plus n equals to n minus 4. So this will be our first equation now. Oh yeah, that's right. Where is the second equation going to come from, right? Okay, so that's a good question to ask. Never mind. We'll just do it first. Okay, I'm going to bring n only. So n equals to m minus 4 plus 3. I'll get m minus 1. N equals to m minus 1. Our first equation. Okay. So the next question that you need to ask is, okay, kalau macam tu kan, what else do I have? What other information do I have? How can I go on? Okay, saya ada satu equation saja, but I have 2 unknowns. If you have 2 unknowns, you need to have 2 equations. So how are we going to build the next equation? Okay, so I would suggest that use back the original equation. Oh, sorry, my mistake. sorry, my mistake. This is apa? Y equals to 8x minus x cubed. Sorry. Use back this equation, okay, that we have, okay, and let's try to put it in here. We have to try and error lah. We don't know. I don't know also. Okay, kita cuba-cuba saja. So let's say I take n and 4. Okay, like this, and I try to put them in here. Okay, so this will be 4 equals to our gradient n minus 4 over 3 minus n. Okay, our x is n squared. Sorry, n, because it is this one. Okay, plus 8. Because our c is 8. That one's definite. No problem with that. Okay, when I adjust this, okay, what happens is I'm going to get 4 equals to n minus 4n over 3 minus n plus 8. Okay, we multiply it, bringing it over the other side. Or what I can do is every single n here saya ganti dengan m plus 1. You know this is going to be a long question already. Okay, panjang pula this soalan this. Okay, so many ways to do it, but let's just do it as the one way. Or if I want, I can just ganti the m. So m equals to n plus 1. Okay, I put the m plus 1 over here. Okay, so we get 4 equals to n plus 1 times n minus 4n over 3 minus n plus 8. You continue on to solve this. Okay, if you continue on to solve this, then you should be able to get the answer n equals to 4, which is just one answer only. Okay, because it's a positive value. You will probably get a positive and a negative value. Let me ask the original person who asked me this question now. Do you want me to continue this, or are you good enough here? Or is this too confusing already? Do you think I'm doing something wrong? Okay. Or am I going about the wrong way? Can we just use the y-intercept to find the m and the n? Can you propose to me how that will work? If I use the y-intercept is 8. But in my graph, there's no y-intercept. It's a good question though. I'm thinking about whether we can use the y-intercept to find the m and the n. The person Luther who asked me this question said, okay, Suda, 0 and 8. Okay, if we use 0 and 8, I think that's a good idea. Let's see, if we use 0 and 8, I am going to, where am I going to go into? Okay, let me try and see. This is a good question though. Let's try. If I use 0 and 8, which means that I will have 0 and 8. So my y over x will be 8 equals to n minus 4 over 3 minus n, but my x will be 0. And then plus 8. But this whole thing times 0 will be 8 equals to 8. So I can't use that. Yeah, I don't think we can use that. But I feel that you need to use one of these points. Okay, and then put it in here. Put it in here. Okay, before you can do anything else. Does that make sense? Maybe we should experiment around and see, and then we'll see how it works. Okay. But I feel that because there are two unknowns, we need to have two equations. Okay, that's the general rule. So the first equation we build from here. Okay, and then the second equation you build using one of the points. Okay, substitute into here, and then you perform the simultaneous equations. I mean, find the gradient using 0 and 8, and either 3 and m or n and 4. Okay. That's a very good idea. I think that can possibly work. Since we know the gradient is -1, okay, and then we use the intercept as 0 and 8. I think it's possible. Okay, let's use 3 and m now. Okay, let's use 3 and m and 0 and 8, since they're all on the same line. Okay, so -1 equals to m minus 8 over 3 minus 0. I think that's a way that could possibly work. Thank you very much. Okay, it's a very good idea. -1 equals to m minus 8 over 3. So -3 equals to m minus 8. You get m equals to 5, which is the answer. Oh, a much simpler answer. Okay, a much simpler way to find the question. Okay, good job. Okay, Look at me and my super long-winded way. Okay, so I think that's very good. If we use n, okay, so -1 equals to, let's use this, and 0 and 8. Okay, so 4 minus 8 over n minus 0. Okay, I'm going to change this over, so n equals to -4 over -1, so n equals to 4. Whoosh! I've got to give you a thumbs up, Angelo. Okay, you found a much simpler way compared to my ridiculously long way okay, to find the same answer. Okay, thumbs up for you. All right, any questions? Next. Any questions? Any questions? If not, then it's just these two only for today. That's it. Okay, everyone, we're going to go and answer page 40, question 4 from the same handout. Okay, this question, the question with no graph. Okay, and they give you equation of a curve that has not been changed into straight line. Okay, it's a curve, and then they give you the 2 points over here, and they check out the point is on the curve. If the point is on the curve, means that this setiap satu ini adalah y and x, y and x. Okay, so the first question is reduce the equation of the curve to linear form. Okay, if you remember from handout 1, if you remember from handout 1, is this A or B? Okay, if you remember from handout 1, okay, whenever you have an equation that looks like this, okay, the logical thing to do is to flip it over first, because you cannot split this ini di bawah. You can only split this kalau dia berada di atas. So the only way to do it is to flip both sides over. So this will become 1 over y. This will become ab plus x over ax. Then you can split this. Okay, this will become 1 over y equals to ab over ax plus x over ax. Okay, remember you cannot split this over ini di bawah. Okay, doesn't make sense. You can only split it kalau dia berada di atas. Okay, let's simplify this. A and A will cut, x and x will cut. I will get 1 over y equals to b over x plus 1 over a. Okay, but before this, before that, we know that our y and x axis mesti ada kaitan dengan huruf y dan huruf x, because dia cakap dalam soalan, it says in the question that a and b are actually constants. Okay, pemalar. So this I need to split this up lah. So dia nampak macam y equals to m x plus c. So our y-axis is 1 over y. Okay. So our x-axis, since there are per x, I'm going to put the x-axis as 1 over x. Therefore, our gradient is b. Okay, plus 1 over a. This is my final answer for question A. Okay, we reduce this into a linear form. Okay, where daripada ini kan satu kali kamu tengok, kamu boleh bagi tahu saya, oh okay, this is the y-axis, this is the gradient, this is the x-axis, and this is the intercept. Okay, once you know that, then everything else becomes easy. Okay, so how are we going to find, question D, how are we going to find the values of A and B? Okay, how are we going to find? Anybody want to give me a suggestion? Since a lot of people have answered this question, probably. Give me a suggestion. It probably has something to do with these 2 points. Okay, you use the coordinate. Okay, fine, use the coordinate. But where do we substitute it? Sub in where? Do we sub it in the linear equation or the non-linear equation? Tidak boleh terus. Also can. Okay. Sub in the linear. Okay. See, Haris made an important point. These points are actually on the curve. Okay, so we cannot sub it into the linear one directly. But since we know that the y-axis is 1 over the y-coordinate and the x-axis is 1 over the x-coordinate, I'm going to take this first one now, 3 and 1. Okay, this is x and this is y. If I'm going to flip it over, become 1 over x and 1 over y, this will become Okay, the x will become 1 over 3, and the y will become 1 over 1, which is actually just 1. Okay. Secondly, this one, 6 and 3 over 2. Okay, again, this is x and this is y. Tapi saya mau 1 over y and 1 over x. So this will become 1 over 6, and this one will become 2 over 3. Okay, so these two, okay, ini semua adalah 1 over x and 1 over y. And we can use this, okay, to find the gradient. Okay, which is, ini tolak ini tolak ini, and get this lah. Okay, and after that, we can sub in the gradient, sub in 1 point, and then we can find 1 over 8. Okay, I'm going to leave it as here. I'm going to solve it for you all. Here, I'm just going to tell you how you're going to go about doing it. It's just that jawapan akhir kamu adalah A is 3 and B is 2. Okay, I'm going to stop right here and you figure out the rest by yourself. Okay, you can count the gradient, terus kau dapat B. Okay, then you sub in 1 point. Pilih lah whichever point you want. Don't sub in the x and y. Sebab ini dalam curve. This is on the line. And this is the equation of the line. Okay, so you sub in 1 point here and here. And you sub in the gradient yang kau baru cari. And then you can find 1 over 8. Alright? Okay, next question. Pausing recording. Okay, so we're done with the linear law questions for now. Okay, somebody has asked this question, okay, which is the paper 2, question 2, and this question is from Quadratic Functions lah. Okay, this is from the Negeri Pahang SPM trial paper from last year. Okay, so you are given these two poles, and then you have this string over here, and then they are bagi the height of the pole, okay, is 180 meters. Okay, and then the distance between the two is 300 centimeters. 180 centimeters, and this one is 300 centimeters. Okay, this is 300 centimeters. And then after that, it says the height of the rope in the middle. Okay, the height of the rope in the middle. This is not given in the figure, okay, but it is given in the question. The height of the rope, okay, in the middle between the two poles is 130 centimeters from the ground. So the first question is, we assume that point 0 is the origin of the axis. Okay, find the equation of the parabolic suspension rope. Basically, if this is a curve, okay, kita disuruh untuk mencari what do you call this? We are called to find the equation. Okay, the equation of the curve. Okay, so I'm going to use another color. Okay, and since they check up this is 0, okay, since this is the origin, I'm going to draw my axis over here like this, and like this. Okay, so this is here, and this is 1. Now, if from pole here to pole here is 300, okay, therefore I can say that this coordinate over here is 150. Okay, and this over here is negative 150. And because the height over here is 180, therefore I can say that this is 150, 150. The other side will be negative 150, 180. Okay, so actually this piece of information, they check up that 0 is the origin, is actually a very important piece of information. It tells us how to build the graph from here. Okay, and at the same time, we also know that since this is 130, the minimum point, okay, the minimum point, sorry, yeah, the minimum point, okay, is actually 0, 130. 0, 130. Now, if you remember how to build quadratic equations based on just the minimum point, you can know quite a lot of things. It's fx equals to ax plus b squared plus q. Okay, p and q are the minimum, the x and y coordinates for the minimum points. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to get, okay, fx equals to ax plus 0 squared plus 130. Okay, plus 0. Oh, sorry, minus 0. Because they must be, doesn't matter also lah. It is the same thing. Okay, fx equals to ax squared plus 130. The only question now you need to ask is, what is the value of a? That's why you are given these two coordinates. Okay, I'm going to put in the coordinates. So 180 equals to a, x is 150 squared plus 130. Okay, if you continue on to do, you will get a equals to 1 over 450. Okay, you continue doing that, you will get a equals to 1 over 450. Which means that my actual equation is fx equals to 1 over 450, okay, x squared plus 130. Okay, this is the equation of the function, okay, as shown by here. Somebody asked me whether if I change to meter instead of using centimeter, since the next question is asking for meter, also can. Okay, doesn't matter. But this is the basic shape that we want. Okay, fx equals to 1 over 450 x squared plus 130. Make sure that you pin that correctly so that you get this as 1 over 450. Okay, I suppose that the next question is the one that is the problem lah. Okay, which I'm going to read once I have burst in. Okay, so the next question, B, says that a shirt is hung on the suspension rope at point P. Okay, I'm going to use a different color. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm going to use a different color and I'm going to hang my shirt over here lah. Okay, at point P. This is point P. Okay, then dia cakap the overall height of the shirt is 1.25 meter. 1.25 meter is 125 centimeters. Okay, sorry, so we need to make this shirt a lot longer lah. The height of this one is 125 cm. Okay, or 1.25 meters. And then dia cakap its distance from the pole is 1 meter. So we assume that it's this pole lah. So the distance over here is 100. Okay, so the question is, if the shirt itself is 125 centimeters, okay, but you know the bottom over here, the height is 130. And then now, if you ever hang shirt before, right, kalau kau gantung di sini, bahkan mustahil lah, this tali tidak akan terturun. Okay, sure terturun. Which is why the question asks, is the shirt going to touch the ground? Okay, so we need to think about this mathematically lah. Let me ask, does the shirt touch the ground? Yeah, that's the question that they ask. Okay, does the shirt touch the ground? So let's see what information we have over here. Okay, first of all, we have the information that there is, kalau di sini 100 bahkan, okay, if we know that this whole thing is 150 and this is 100, therefore, the distance from here to here, this coordinate must be 50. Okay, so we have one coordinate. We know that the p coordinate is 50, but the only problem is we don't know what is the y coordinate. Okay, so I'm going to call this 50 and y. Okay, and since we have our equation here, since we have our equation that we found out just now, that fx equals to 1 over 450 x squared plus 130. Okay. Since we know that our x coordinate is 50, okay, because dia bagi sini 100, so this balance must be 50 lah. Let's see how much our fx is. Let's see what our y coordinate is. Okay, our y coordinate will be 1 over 450 times 50 squared plus 130. Okay, can you calculate this for me, please? How much is this? 1 over 50 plus 130. Probably going to be more than 130 lah. But let's just guess and see. 100, 1220 over 9. 135.56. Okay, I'm going to use this now. 135.56. Okay, now I'm going to zoom this here. Okay, so dia cakap that wherever I hang this baju, the height okay, is 135.56. Okay, this coordinate is 50, 135.56. Dia cakap the baju, okay, the baju is only 125 cm. Okay, so you logically answer this question. Will the shirt touch the ground? The answer is no. Okay, because the height is longer than the baju. Okay, unless, okay, I know some of you, your physics is like, oh no, what about the elasticity of the string and yada yada yada. Okay, guys, this is just mathematics. Okay, we focus on the math only. The math tells us that the height of the shirt is 125 and the height of the string is 135.56. Logically, okay, logically the shirt won't touch the ground. Okay, according to the math. Okay, some of you are writing, what about the string's elasticity? Okay, cool it, okay? This is maths. We leave the physics for another day. Okay? But mathematically, it won't touch the ground. Okay, that's the answer. So if once we find this already, okay, so you can write since the height of P is is greater than the length of the shirt. Okay, and I got no more space to write the rest, so you figure out the rest lah. Okay, since the height of P, which is this, is greater than the length of the shirt, which is only 125 cm. Okay, maka yada 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 yada. I'm sure you can answer this on yourself. Okay, wow, paper. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there are many factors lah. Okay, if you really want to talk about the science, there are many factors. Number one is the material of the shirt. Okay, the weight of the shirt or the mass of the shirt. You know, you have to take that into account. Secondly, you also have to talk about the elasticity of the string. What kind of string are you using? Okay, because the question doesn't say, oh, okay, the rope is made of plastic or the rope is made of wood. You know, it just says rope. Okay, a suspension rope. So we don't know. It could be a spring for all we know. So, like I said, let's just focus on the math. The math tells us that 135, which is the height of the string, is greater than the length of the shirt. Okay, focus on the math. Let's not go into the physics. That's the problem of teaching science students. Okay? They try to, everything also want to combine. Just like yesterday's orchard question. Mau juga cakap, oh, okay, plants prefer more alkaline, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but thank you for the question to the person that asked it.